Sebut nanti yang cakap dah gitu. Dah boleh start? Kena sebut. Macam ni, kan nanti kan aku tak tahu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudhillalah wa man yudlilhu fala hadiyalah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful. All praise be to Allah. We praise Him, we ask for His help, we ask for His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the weakness of ourselves and from the badness of our deeds. Whoever been given by Allah guidance, then nobody can be a misguider for him. Whoever been misguided by Allah, then nobody can be a guider for him. I bear witness, there's no God worthy to be worshipped except Allah. Only Him, no associate for Him. And I bear witness that Muhammad is His messenger and servant. O Allah, give good prayers upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and gave good prayers upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. O Allah, bless upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and bless upon Abraham and the family of Abraham. Verily, you are most worthy of praises and most exalted in power, in position. Today, inshallah, we'll continue with our 50 rules, 50 Quranic rules concerning soul and life. That the last time we met, we completed the 19th rule, that is which talking about walakum fil qisasi hayatun ya ulil albabi, and for you inside the lawful retribution there is actually life. That is talk the second part of it last week. Today, inshallah, we'll continue and go into the 20th rule of 50 Quranic rule concerning soul and life. The saying of Allah in the Quran from Surah Al-Kahfi, Surah Al-Isra. Surah Al-Isra, verse number 97. Allah Ta'ala said, وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ. Surah Al-Hajj. Ini Surah Al-Hajj. Surah Al-Hajj, verse number 18. Verse number 18 from Surah Al-Hajj. You see here, whoever being blemished or being degraded, being dishonored by Allah, fama lahu min mukrim, then he will never ever get anybody to honor him. Whoever being degraded or dishonored by Allah, then nobody can honor or respect or give an honor for him. He said here, and when we learn this book, I will recite in the Arabic, and after that I will translate it in English, inshallah. هذه قاعدة من القواعد المحكمة في أبواب العدل والجزاء. This is a rule from among the rules that is fixed in the topic of justice, justice and reward. Justice and reward. ولتدبرها أثر في فهم المؤمن lima yarahu aw yaqra'uhu fi kutubit tarikh aw al-waqi'i min taqallubatiz zamani wad dahri bi ahli. And to look into this rule, there is an effect for a mu'min, for a believer, to understand whatever he see or he read, whatever he saw or he read in the book of history or in the reality of life, with the ongoing of time from old time until now, with whoever in that time. When he read about somebody become in power, or somebody become thrown away from power, or somebody being respected, or somebody being disrespected by anybody, by his people or his friend. So when he saw that in real life, or he read it in the book of history, then this rule that Allah says, wa may yuhinillahu fama lahu bimukrim, and whoever being dishonored or being belittled by Allah, then nobody can honor that person and can honor him. Sawa'un ala mustawal afradi awil jama'at. It's the same, this rule, he can see that either in individual level or in the society level. Innahal qa'idatul Qur'aniyyatul lati dalla 'alaiha qaulullahu ta'ala. It is the rule, Quranic rule, that being shown by the saying of Allah in Surah Al-Hajj verse number 18, wa may yuhinillahu fama lahu min mukrim. And whoever being belittled, dishonored by Allah, fama lahu mukrim, then he will never ever get anybody to honor him. Wa la'alla iradil ayatil kamilati allati dhukirat fiha hadhihi al-qa'idatu mimma yujli lana abraza suwaril ihanati allati tanzilul insanu ala min uliyaihi. And maybe if we bring the ayah, the verse with its complete sentence, because it's actually when we take the rule of Al-Quran, normally it's just few phrases from the complete ayah. Maybe one verse, maybe just take a portion of it to understand what rule that Allah Ta'ala have drawn for us in this life. So if we read the whole ayah, then we can understand. It will show, insyaAllah, that will show to us the clear picture of disgrace or belittle that the human can descend from the place of the top place that he actually belong. Yaqulu azza wa jalla, Allah the Almighty said in the Surah Al-Hajj verse number 18, Alam tara anna Allah yasjudu lahu man fis samawati wa man fil ardi. Don't you see that Allah prostrating to him whoever in all the heavens, all the seven heavens, the angels there, is it all prostrating to Allah. Wa man fil ardi, and also whoever on the earth. Wasyamsu wal qamaru, and also the sun and the moon. Wan nujum wal jibal, and all the stars and all the mountains. Wasyajaru wad dawab, and also trees, and also all the animals, all the crawling animal. Wa kathirum minan nas, and also many of the human being. Wa kathirun haqqa alaihi al-azab, but many of them also is eligible for them the punishment. Because after Allah Ta'ala said about everything is actually prostrating to him, but the way of prostrating of the other than humankind, we don't know how is it, because Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Isra, Allah Ta'ala said about everything is actually not only prostrating, but even saying a glorification towards Allah. Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Kahfi, verse number La tafqahuna Surah Al-Isra, verse number 44. He said there, Tusabbihu lahu samawatu sab'u wal ardu wa man fihin. Saying glorification towards Allah. Glorifying Allah, all the 7 skies, 7 heaven, and also the earth, and also whoever on the earth. Wa im min shay'in, and there's nothing from creation illa yusabbihu bihamdihi, except it is actually glorifying Allah. Walakin la tafqahuna tasbihahum, but you don't understand their glorification towards Allah. The same, because we and every animal, every living things in this world is actually having the language, having communication within each other. But the way we communicate is not the way the ant communicate, not the way the fish communicate, not the way the bird communicate. So even the communication between all the animals and the insect, we don't know. So the same as the glorification for everything that is in this creation. But Allah said, وَلَكِنْ لَا تَفْقَهُونَ تَسْبِيحَهُمْ, but you don't understand their glorification towards Allah. So here when we are saying this ayah, the Surah Al-Hajj number 18, Allah said about everything is prostrating towards Allah. But you don't know what the way everything is prostration. We human being being taught by the messengers of Allah how to prostrate towards Allah. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, Umirtu an asjuda ala sabati a'dhumin. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, I was commanded by Allah to prostrate on 7 of my body part. The first thing he said, al-jabhatu, the forehead, wal-kaffan, the 2 hands, wal-rukbatain, the 2 knee, and the edge of 2 leg, 2 feet. The edge of your feet, the tip of your feet. So that is the 7 body part that must be on the ground when you prostrate towards Allah in your prayer, or when you feel that you get something from the blessing of Allah that is so new to you, then you prostrate as the shukr towards Allah. And when you listen to some of the ayah of the Qur'an that is actually commanding us to prostrate towards Allah, you prostrate the same way. So prostration is just for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not for anybody else. But anyway, inside that ayah, when Allah said about all creation is actually prostrating towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the 7 skies. Whoever in the 7 skies, whoever on the earth, who are the sun, the moon, the stars, the mountains, the trees, and all the animals, and many of the human being. But on the contrary, وَكَثِيرٌ حَقَّ عَلَيْهِ الْعَذَابِ, but many of the creatures of Allah from among the human is actually eligible for them punishment. They will get the punishment because this the one that obey Allah Ta'ala, this other part that doesn't obey Allah Ta'ala. وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهَ, then our rule came after that. وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ, then whoever being belittled by Allah, be dishonored by Allah, then nobody can give an honor towards him. Inna Allah yaf'alu ma yasha. Allah Ta'ala verily doing everything that he want. Whatever he want, he will do it. Fahal adrakta ma'i, don't you get with me, the author said, wa anta tatlu hadhihi al-ayatil karimati, when you recite this noble ayah, anna a'la wa abaha wa ajalla suwaril karamatil abdi ay wahida rabbahu, that the highest, the most beautiful, the most great, the greatest form of honor for the servant is for them, is for him to worship or to make only unified oneness of Allah, to declare the oneness of His Lord. That is the highest form. Because when prostrating towards Allah, that is what you proclaim. You are claiming about the oneness of Allah, that Allah Ta'ala doesn't have equality. Nobody is equal to Allah that can get or deserve prostration from you. That is what you actually doing when you prostrate. Wa ayyufridahu bil ibadati, and also the highest form of nobleness, of honor, the highest form of honor is actually for the servant to make only Allah, only his God, for his worship. Any worship that you want to do, or prayer, or to ask anything he want, to feel afraid, to feel shy, to feel grateful, is actually the one that deserves that is the one who created him and giving him everything. Wa ayatarajjama dhalika bisujud rabbih, and he must make the oneness of Allah, and the to show that only Allah deserves his worship is by prostrating to his Lord Allah. Wa tadalluli baina yadayhi maula, and also to lower himself in front of his Lord Allah. Wa khaliqihi wa raziqihi, and the one that created him and also bestowing him with all the provision. Because the thing that happening right now in our society, in our life, many people know that the one that created him and giving him everything is not whatever he worship, like human or a people, a person, a great person, a good person. Because that person is actually also being created. He doesn't exist before 100 years or before 1,000 years. The person is not there. Last week, I listened to the story of Kuan Yin from Sheikh Hussein. He told us about the story. What the story is actually, he said the beginning of the story or the middle of the story is almost similar with the story of Moses, when he take the people to go through the river to the other side of the ocean to save them from the king, who is the father of her father, the father of the person, the Kuan Yin. That story is actually quite similar. Like Moses, when he took the Israelites to go through the Red Sea to the other side to save them from Pharaoh. So quite similar. So when we listen to the story, but anyway, when a person think about that the creation is there before Kuan Yin, or any idol being worshipped by a human being, you can see that the idol is actually being created later. The world is here before them. Even there are people around them before they're being descend or being lifted up by another people as a goddess or god. So we know that there is a creator that create everything, because nothingness cannot create anything. You cannot say that from nothingness this box of tissue came into existence without anything, but become something. It's so illogical. So must be there is somebody who create everything. But when you know about that, so the one who really eligible, deserve to be worshipped, deserve to be people to feel grateful towards him, is the one who created you and giving you all the provision. That is the way. Because the one that giving you everything, who he and creating everything, he is deserve that. Because that is the thing, when you proclaim, you prostrate to him, not to others, not to other than him. Because he is the one that created you and giving everything. I think that's an analogy that I used it before. I did in Malay. Maybe I did saying in English. As an example, if you get from Bangladesh or Indonesia, made to work for you. You pay everything. You pay for their expenses, their visas, their permit, everything you paid. But at the same time, when you pay them, but they actually working for your neighbors. You ask your wife, where's our maid? Oh, she's at Cik Tipah house, cleaning there. And where's our maid? Oh, she's cooking at Cik Muna house. You are paying everything for her, giving her place to stay, but she actually working for others. For us, we surely will return her back to her country 24/7. You not wait. Because your expenses doesn't give you anything. But Allah is giving you everything. Your Creator created you, giving you everything, but you don't channel your worship towards Him. That is so wrong. So wrong. Because the others doesn't deserve whatever the worship that you have. The worship that you done, act of worship that you do, is not for other than the one that created you and giving you provision. Waman amru sa'adatihi wa najatihi wa falahi biyadihi. Waman amru sa'adatihi wa najatihi wa falahi biyadihi azza wa jalla yaf'alu dhalika i'tirafan bihaqqillah. And also whoever the matter of his happiness, and his victory and his safety on his hand azza wa jalla, yaf'alu dhalika i'tirafan bihaqqillah. So the servant is doing that to actually agreeing with the right of Allah. Raja'an li fadlihi, hoping that Allah Ta'ala will give him more from his whatever he have to give away for his servant, and wa khawfan min iqabihi, and also afraid about his punishment. Wa hal adrakta aidan, don't you also get by reciting that ayah, the Surah Al-Hajj, verse number 18. Anna ghayat al-hawani wal-dhulli was-sufuli wad-da'ati ay yastankifa al-abdu anis-sujud anis-sujudi li rabbih aw yushrika ma'a khaliqihi ilahan akhara. Don't you see also that the goal or the destination for you, the goal of lowerness and to be actually to your God, if you lower, become less or little in front of God, and also to be down, that from that part, you know that the worst part for you is for you to not doing prostration towards your God, because the opposite. If Allah Ta'ala is saying that all the thing that He created is actually prostrating to Him, but many of the humankind doesn't want to prostrate to Him. Then He said, whoever being disgraced by Allah, dishonored by Allah, then nobody can honor, give an honor to that person. Means that when you are doing your act of worship towards Allah, you are actually being honored, and the dishonor or the lowerness will happen to that person that doesn't want to prostrate to his God, to his God, or he associating with another God. It doesn't deserve actually. It doesn't deserve for that. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ الصَّمْ وَالشَّجَرُ وَالدَّوَابُ الْبُهْمُ خَيْرًا مِنْهُ. Then, because of that, the mountains, that is, the word is actually dumb, doesn't talk, deaf. Actually, cannot speak. وَالشَّجَرُ وَالدَّوَابُ الْبُهْمُ. And also, the tree and the animal, that is, we call as actually dumb, doesn't know how to talk. Khairan minhu is better than the person hina sajadat li khaliqiha, wa ma'budihal haq, when everything, the tree, the mountain, and the animals is prostrating to its creator, and also the one who rightful for their worship, al-haq. Al-haq. So because of that things that dumb and not talking things, or doesn't have any mind or intelligent, is better than the human that have the intelligence but channeling their worship towards other than Allah. إذا تبين هذا فإن هذه القاعدة القرآنية, and when this is clear, then this Quranic rule, وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ, whoever been dishonored or belittled, be blemished by Allah, فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ, then nobody can give an honor towards him. جاءت في سياق بيان من هم الذي يستحقون العذاب. It came actually in the sentence that explaining about who are those people that deserve for punishment. Innahumul ladina adhallu anfusahum bil isyraki bi rabbihim. They are the people who blemish their own self, belittle their own self by doing association with their Lord. Means they don't glorify the oneness of Allah, but they giving their being associate or shirk with Allah. فَأَذَلَّهُمُ اللَّهُ بِالْعَذَابِ, then Allah Ta'ala is actually belittle them and making them disgrace by the punishment. كما قال عز وجل وكثير حق عليه العذاب. Many people is actually prostrating to Allah, but many of them also are deserve upon him the punishment. فلا يجدون حينها من يكرمهم bin nasri أو بالشفاعة. Then whoever being put into the punishment by Allah, then nobody during that time can honor them by helping them or giving them mediation. Can be a mediator in front of Allah to say that this guy I know, please let him go. No, nobody will come for them. This is what will happen. I know within the Chinese tradition also, they are actually the shaman is actually the one who become the mediator. When the people for alive people from the relatives will pay to the shaman, then the shaman will do something to make sure that the died person will go to the paradise. That is actually the way. But in Islam, when a person doesn't deserve that, the first thing that will stop them from getting any mediator is actually when they doing shirk towards Allah. They make associates for Allah in their act of worship. So that is actually something that will not be accepted by Allah. وَتَأَمَّلْ كَيْفَ جَاءَ التَّعْبِيرُ عَنْ هَذِهِ الْعَذَابِ. And look carefully how the explanation or the picture about came about this punishment by saying of Allah, وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ, and whoever being belittled or being dishonored or blemished by Allah. وَلَمْ يَأْتِ وَمَنْ يُعَذِّبِ اللَّهُ. It doesn't came with وَمَنْ يُعَذِّبِ اللَّهُ, whoever being punished by Allah. But Allah Ta'ala doesn't say whoever being punished by Allah. Because before that ayah, before that our rule, the word is actually وَكَثِيرٌ حَقَّ عَلَيْهِ الْعَذَابِ. Many of them deserve to be punished. But after that ayah, Allah Ta'ala said, whoever being belittled by Allah, being dishonored by Allah. He doesn't say whoever being punished by Allah. So he changed the sentence from the word of punishment to the word of belittled or being dishonored or being blemished by Allah. وَذَلِكَ, and that, وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ, Allah Ta'ala almost knowing, لِأَنَّ الْإِهَانَةَ إِذْلَالٌ وَتَحْكِيرٌ وَخِزْيٌ. Because to be belittled, to be dishonored, or to be blemished, that is actually the most shameful, or the most lowest, the most lowest thing, or the most, we say in the word hina. Can you have the word hina? Adwa. Hina. Hina in English. Hina. Insult. The biggest insult is when Allah say belittle, blemish, dishonor, is actually the lowest part of insult that can be given. وَذَلِكَ قَدْرٌ زَائِدٌ عَلَى أَلَمِ الْعَذَابِ. And is actually, we can say that is addition for whatever being given as punishment. Means that if a person just pinch you, your teacher pinch you, that the hurt is there. You feel hurt. But when she pinch you with some other words, the words is actually an addition to the suffering that you are having. It's not really just the suffering of physical, but also from the side of soul. فَقَدْ يُعَذِّبُ الرَّجُلُ الْكَرِيمُ وَلَا يُهَانُ. Because sometimes a person, a noble person, an honored person, can be punished, but he will not be belittled or be insult. The person can be punished, but will not be insult. But this, in this ayah, Allah Ta'ala is actually assuring that the person that doesn't want to proclaim only Allah as his God and worship other than Him, then there's two types of punishment. The one is punishment of physical with the hellfire, and the second one is actually by the belittle or dishonoring the person. It's not just the punishment physically, it's also soul, upon the soul of the person. ثم تأمل كيف جاء التعبير عن ضد ذلك بقوله, and also look into how the explanation, the picture came with the opposite of that, the opposite of the one that the whatever being said before, that is actually whoever being little by Allah. فَمَا لَهُ مِن مُكْرِمٍ. That Allah said nobody can honor that person. Nobody can give an honor for him. Nobody. Because Allah Ta'ala already belittle him, then nobody can lift him up, give him any respect anymore. فَإِنَّ الْكَرَمَ لَفْظٌ جَامِعٌ لِلْمَحَاسِنِ وَالْمَحَامِدِ. Because the word karam, noble or honor, is actually a word that combination for goodness and praises. Goodness and praises. When somebody or something is good, have goodness and being praised by others, that is actually the best noble, the best nobility, the best honor can you get, because you are good and being praised by others. That is actually the best honor you can get. Because sometimes you are good, but nobody want to praise you. Nobody can want to praise you. People say that maybe I think the person is not really sincere. You are being sincere, but nobody want to honor you. That is actually, so when you say the word mukrim, the word karuma in Arabic means nobility, means that the person is good in himself and also being praised by others for the goodness that he have. Wala yuradu bihi mujarril i'ta. It doesn't ever came the meaning of karam just for a person who actually like to give away, like to giving charity. No, it's not the same. Balil i'ta min tamam ma'nahu. Even the word, the meaning of nobility, a noble person, actually the person that will actually like to give away, like to give charity, That is among the meaning of nobility. The meaning of honored person, a noble person. When you say noble person like to give charity, that is one part of the meaning, not the only meaning that it have. فَالْإِحْسَانُ إِلَى غَيْرِ تَمَامِ الْمَحَاسِنِ. Because doing goodness to others, to other than yourself, is actually the completeness of goodness. Is the perfectness of goodness. وَالْكَرَمُ كَثْرَةُ الْخَيْرِ وَيُسْرَتِهِ. كَثْرَةُ الْخَيْرِ وَيُسْرَتُهُ. And the nobility or the honor is actually to have many goodness and easy to get goodness from that person. It's easy for you to get goodness from him. Ila akhirih. Wa syai'ul hasanil mahmud yusafu bil karam. Also, things that is actually good and also being praised is actually being described as honored thing or noble thing. Qala Allah Ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, saying about that meaning, fi Surah Asy-Syu'ara, verse number 7. Allah Ta'ala said, awalam yarau ilal ardi, don't they see, then they look into the ilal ardi, to the earth, to the land. Kam ambathna fiha min zawjin karim. How many have we grown? How many have we grown on the land from every pair that is actually so noble. The meaning noble because is giving the fruit and giving the fruit all the time for the benefit of others. So being called the tree or the tree that giving fruit as Zawjin Karim, pair that have, because all the tree that producing fruit is actually is a pair, male and female. So in botany, you know about that. Because the tree is you can see certain place, certain part when they plant the papaya or the banana, but the tree doesn't have any fruit. Maybe because it just only have one type of flower that is actually male only. If it had female and male, then the pollination can happen, then the fruit will come. So Allah said, don't they see to the land that how many that we have grown on the land from among the pair that is actually so noble. Noble mean giving away continuously its fruit. Qablu kutaybah min kullin jinsin hasanin, from among every type of goodness. Wal Qur'anu qad dalla ala anna an-nasa fihim karimun ala Allahi yukrimuhu wa fihim man yuhinuhu. He said, Ibn Qutaybah said that, and the Quran also shown that among the human also there are people who are noble towards Allah, that Allah Ta'ala is actually honoring and make him noble. And wa fihim, among the human, there are people who being belittled, dishonored by Allah. There are people who are being honored by Allah, who people being dishonored by Allah. Qala Ta'ala, Allah Ta'ala said, Allah Almighty said in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse number 13. Allah Ta'ala said, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most noble among you in the sight of Allah is the most pious among you. Because the beginning of ayah, the beginning, number 13, Allah Ta'ala said, Ya ayuhan nas, O humankind, Inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa unsa. We created you from a male and female, from Adam and Eve. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. And we made you into nation and tribes with differences in languages, their tradition. He said we have that differences. Allah said in وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. And the differences is for you to know each other, And after that, Allah said, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most noble among you, not by your skin type, skin color. your hair type, your eye colors, your blood types, no. Or your father or your mother, no. Nobody is noble by that. Allah Ta'ala said, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, the most noble among you, the most in the sight of Allah, is the most pious among you. Who have more piety towards Allah, then that person is the most noble in the sight of Allah. Not by your color, your race, your origin, who's your father, who's your mother. That doesn't matter in the sight of Allah. Wa qala ta'ala, and Allah Ta'ala said, he said, Ibn Qutaybah said, in our mentioning our rule today, wa man yuhinillahu fama lahu min mukrim, whoever being blemished, being belittled, being dishonored by Allah, fama lahu min mukrim, then nobody can be the one that give honor to him, or lifting up his position. Inna Allah yaf'alu ma yasha, verily Allah Ta'ala is doing whatever He want. This is something that rule Allah Ta'ala put it there, and whoever He wanted to have that punishment, He will do it. And He can also open for those people doors for them to repent and to get back to Him, and He always glad to give them His repentance to them. وَإِذَا كَانَ الشِّرْكُ بِاللَّهِ وَأَعْظَمُ سُورَةٍ يَذِلُّ بِهَا الْعَبْدُ نَفْسَهُ. If the making associate or shirk towards Allah is the biggest form that a human or a servant can blemish or belittle himself by it, وَيَدُسُّهَا فِي دَرَكَاتِ الْهَوَانِ, and he putting himself to the lower level of dishonor, فَإِنَّ ثَمَّةَ سُوَرًا أُخْرَى, then there is another picture, another form here. وَإِنْ كَانَ دُونَ الشِّرْكِ, even though it is lower than the shirk, it's not the highest form, but lower than the shirk, but still we have to concern about it. إِلَّا أَنَّ أَثَرَهَا فِي هَوَانِ الْعَبْدِ وَذُلِّهِ ظَاهِرٌ بَيِّنٌ, except that the effect of this other thing that a person can belittle himself other than shirk, that he have the effect in lowering, in tarnishing the servant and making him low, so clear and so bright. Innahu dhulul ma'siyati, it is actually the lowerness of doing maksiat. The maksiat means anything that you do opposite the command of Allah. The word maksiyah came from the word asa. Asa ya'si maksiyatan. Asa means to rebel, to rebel to your God, not following His command. That is actually called maksiyah. In our society, the word maksiat sometimes being understood only in fornication, or in drinking intoxicated drinks, or to go into to gamble. But actually, it's bigger than that. The word maksiyah, covering everything that you go against the command of Allah, is called maksiyah. It's called maksiyah. That is actually the lowerness or the tarnishing of by maksiyah. Wa hawan al-abdi bisabiha, and also to become dishonored, the servant become the dishonoring of the servant by the maksiyah, because it's actually sure is lower than the shirk. If you die as a mushrik, then Allah Ta'ala you. If you die as a sin person doing sin, there is a chance that Allah Ta'ala may forgive you. But if you die, you are not as one that proclaiming the oneness of Allah. You are doing the shirk, then Allah Ta'ala will not accept you ever. This is because being said in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 48, Allah Ta'ala said, Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi. Allah Ta'ala will not forgive to be for him to be associated with something. Means that he will not forgive that. The act of doing association towards him, he will not forgive. وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. And he will forgive whatever other than that for whoever he wanted. Whoever he want, then he will forgive. Other than the syirik. So this now we are talking about the maksiyah. The thing that the person do is not like the syirik, but still it will tarnish the person even by living in this world. If he actually committing that sin, sin towards Allah and clearly known to others, then people will start to dishonoring him, will look him lowly by looking at him. Yaqul Qayyim muwaddihan syai'an min ma'ani hadhihi al-Qā'idah al-Qur'aniyyah al-muhkamati. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, one of the scholars, he said, explaining a little of the meaning of this Quranic rule, this fixed Quranic rule. وَهُوَ يَتَحَدَّثُ عَنْ شَيْءٍ مِنْ شُؤْمِ الْمَعَاصِي. When he is actually talking about the badness, the badness of the ma'asi, the maksiyah, the act of disobedience was Allah. وَأَثَارَهَا السَّيِّئَةِ, and its bad or bad or evil effect on the person. He said, وَمِنْهَا, from among it, أَنَّ الْمَعْصِيَةَ, that the maksiyah, the act of disobedience towards Allah, sababun lihawanil abdi ala rabbihi, is actually a reason. Is actually the reason for the dishonor, for the lackness or dishonor of the servant in front of his God, and also sukutihi min ainihi, and he become dropped from the surveillance of Allah. Allah Ta'ala will not look at him anymore. Qala al-Hasan al-Basri. Hasan al-Basri, one of the tabi'in. He is actually being taught by the companion of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He lived within the 100 years when the companion Prophet is still there after the death of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Hasan al-Basri said, Hanu alaihi fa'asawhu walau azzaw alaihi la'asamahum. Hanu alaihi, they become little, they become small in front of him. So because of that, they disobey him. Walau azzu alaihi, if they are precious, they have some weight in front of Allah, la'asamahum, Allah will protect them. Because the protection for you from not doing any disobedience towards Allah is actually come from Allah. He can protect you. But if he let you to go into that kind of a sin, he is actually looking down toward you. Doesn't give you any respect. If he love you, he will protect you. That's the thing that the person must remember. Whenever he doing disobedience towards Allah, he is actually at that time not being given any attention by Allah. If Allah Ta'ala give attention to him, then Allah Ta'ala will protect him. وَإِذَا هَانَ الْعَبْدُ عَلَى اللَّهِ, if a person becomes so little, his position so little in the sense of Allah, لَمْ يُكْرِمْهُ أَحَدٌ, then nobody will honor him. Nobody will look at him with something. Kama qala Allah Ta'ala, as being said by Allah Ta'ala in our ayah, in our rule today, وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ بِمُكْرِمٍ, whoever been belittled, been blemished, been dishonored by Allah, فَمَا لَهُ بِمُكْرِمٍ, nobody can give an honor towards him. وَإِنْ عَظَّمَهُمُ النَّاسُ فِي الظَّاهِرِ لِحَاجَتِهِمْ وَإِلَيْهِمْ, even though people will make him great in front of them, actually in the present, because of their need towards them. Their needs towards them. Like person, you don't like that guy, but that guy have something that you want. So you will respect the person as long as he have that respect and have that position. Either he is policeman, he's a minister, he's somebody then people will give him respect. But once he retired, actually this thing I saw in front of my eyes, a person having a title in the police, in police, as a policeman, his in-laws, brother-in-law, whenever he came back to his hometown, meeting the in-laws, going back to the village, his brothers-in-law always stood up for him, giving their chair. Oh, abang you came, please sit. They actually reading newspaper. They stood up to give the place for them, for the policeman. But once he retired from his position, suddenly I see in front of my eyes, the in-laws just said, abang when did you come? Just like that. No honor anymore. Because sometimes, even though some people, we say that Allah Ta'ala already blemish him or belittle him by making him doing sin, doing disobedience towards Allah. Then actually in front of the human eyes, position. But if ever people doing something, honoring him, honoring this type of person, they actually just want the benefit from them, as long as the benefit is there. أو خوفا من شرهم, or afraid of their evilness, because they have the power to jail anybody, then they are actually afraid of those guys. فهم في قلوبهم أخروا شيء وأهونهم. In the heart of those who actually doing business with them, those people is actually looking down towards those people, these guys, that Allah Ta'ala already belittle and dishonor them. So inside their heart, the people that actually saying, Dato, Tan Sri, Tuan, but by smiling, but inside their heart is actually, those people are the most dirtiest, the smallest or dishonored things inside their heart. Ila anqala, until he said, wa yatahaddathu an ba'di uqubatil ma'asi, when he actually talking about some of the punishment of doing disobedience towards Allah. He said here, ay yarfa'allahu mahabatahu min qulubil khalqi, that Allah Ta'ala will take away the greatness of their position in the heart of all the creation. Everybody look at him, doesn't feel anything. Wa yahunu alayhim, and he become so little, so light in their for them to see them, they have nothing. Wa yastakhfunahu wa yastakhfuna bihi, and also those people feeling disrespect toward them, toward the person. Kama hana alayhi amrullah, as it's actually little for them, for this person, the command of Allah. They don't feel the weight of command of Allah. So Allah Ta'ala give the same punishment. As they don't respect Allah Ta'ala command, then people will not respect them. People will not honor them. Wastakhaffa bihi, and he feel light about whatever Allah Ta'ala command him. Fa'ala qadri mahabbatillahi lil abdi yuhibbuhu nas. So among from the value of the love of Allah towards the servant, for the value of the love of the servant towards Allah, then people will love him. Whoever love his God, then people will love him back. That's actually the reward that Allah Ta'ala give to people. Is being said by the Prophet SAW in one of his hadith. He said, when Allah Ta'ala love a person, Allah Ta'ala will command Archangel Gabriel, saying, I love this person, love him. Then you all must love him. Then the Archangel Gabriel will proclaim on the heavens, all the heavens, to all the angels, saying that Allah Ta'ala is loving this person, this person, so person. So all of you must love him. So when this person being loved by Allah, loved by Archangel Gabriel, and loved by all the angels, then he will be loved by the human being in the earth. So the same, the opposite. If Allah Ta'ala hate somebody, doesn't like a person, then the same will happen. So by the value, by the value or the weight of the love of the servant for Allah, then human being or humankind will love him. وَلَا قَدْرِ خَوْفِهِ مِنَ اللَّهِ يَخَافُهُ النَّاسِ. And from the value or the way of his fear towards Allah, his fear towards Allah, then people also will fear to do something bad towards him. It's the same that Allah Ta'ala will give. وَلَا قَدْرِ تَعْزِيمِهِ اللَّهِ تعظيمه الله وحرماته يعظم الناس وحرماته. And as the value of his honor towards Allah and his feeling greatness towards Allah, then people also will honor and making great him in front of them. Because it's the same as whatever you do to Allah, then Allah Ta'ala will give you back to you the same thing. If you remember Allah, Allah Ta'ala will remember you. You love Allah, then Allah Ta'ala will love you, and people will love you also. So, kaifa yahunu alayhi al-haqqullah wa la yahunu Allahu ala nas. Or how can become little for him the right of Allah, wa la yahunu Allahu ala nas, but he doesn't ever be belittled by Allah upon the human. Because how can he belittle Allah Ta'ala's command, but people will always like him. A few days ago, when we in Malaysia, actually, because of few movies from Hollywood on Disney that showing or become the agenda for LGBT. Few movies being stopped from being shown in Malaysia. Few movies being stopped. So we here in Malaysia, some people is saying why? But actually, in America, the screenshot from some of the Facebook, all of them is honoring the Malaysian people, saying that if only our government is like them. They are saying something like that. We doesn't like, but maybe I can recite it, a little of it, because I just read it this morning. No, what is the name of the person? One of my friends actually shared on his wall about the thing, but the saying is actually the people there in the USA is actually honoring us, saying, I think, did you see about that? You don't see? Yeah, we will talk. Because they there, actually the people there saying that now not, you don't say it actually, a campaign for LGBT, even inside the cartoon for our children. It's actually they start to feeding up everything inside all the movies, all the TV series. There is always, even though in our real life the thing is so little, so rare to happen. You can see a person or two person. It's not a common thing, but now they want to make it a common thing, trying to proclaim that this must be the right for them. The right for them to do it. Wait for a minute. Oh, I didn't save it. But my friend, I don't remember his name. No, he doesn't have here. Why? The first thing first is myth. That it should not be shown for you from the start.
Okay, Ustaz. What about if we watch the movie but we can control our iman?
No, actually from the start, it's not for you to look into from the start. You do not be one of the the supporters for that type of movies, because it's a myth. Then and from that movie, there's no God. They are the God, no God. How can you support something that like that? If anybody doing a campaign, a movie, belittling or dishonoring your family, your father, will you watch that? So when somebody doing a movie dishonoring Allah Ta'ala, saying that Allah is not there, how can you be one of the person that is really watching that things? That is the other part. Only that the step being taken by the government, actually for us here, we don't see that. You don't know about the support that being said about that there in the Western country. That's when I read that, actually, because I don't know why I didn't save. Save my friend. No. Yeah. Actually, whatever you have inside your feeling, some people say that I want to become a woman, being brought up by, or become it came from your genetic, even though it came from your genetic. Whatever is actually against the command of Allah, you must not follow it. If you say that to have the feminine side of you is more than the male the masculine side of you, we can see that many people, such as some of celebrities like Chef Wan the cook, or Aznil An-Nawawi. So when I met him outside, once in one I feel no, not one utama. Once before, pass him by at the, what is the mall that near the Federal Highway, near the telecom. Gadget Mall, the big mall that have the talk of Mid Valley. So I passed by him. Actually, he is actually like a woman. But you know that he never ever go into that way, and he got married and have few children. Also like Chef Wan. The feminine side of him shown, the way he talk, the way he move his hand. So he doesn't follow That's the thing. Because the tendency of that type of thing can also be a crime. Like a tendency to steal others' property. The tendency inside yourself want to take it away. Or tendency to want to hit people. You cannot say that it is actually the way I brought up. Because some people be brought up by their parent being told to do something like that. So you're not supposed to. Or even by nature. Because we know that the character and the behavior of a human being is so different between one and each other. Because once before, people thought that in the socialist thinking, they said that because people having possession of property, they start to fight each other. If everybody got the same thing, then nobody will fight each other. That the thought. So they do a research. They go into a kindergarten. So all the children being given one balloon for each one of them. But suddenly, they can see that some of the children want to take the other's balloon. That's the nature, not about you owning the other person. Because the nature of the being brought up, yes, and also the character. So you cannot say that Allah Ta'ala created you like that, then you follow. No. Because you have the tendency, but you have to fight it. Same as, because before this, the LGBT or the odd word of sexuality being named by the World Health Organization as one of the brain disease, brain dysfunctionality. But few years ago, during the 90s, they start to take it off and start to saying that it is actually you can embrace whatever the side that God created you into that. That's actually so wrong. So anyway, because if you want to, you can see that they talk about this. That for the society, having that disease is actually will make them become become damaged. Because we know that to make a nation, a nation, you must have three principal things. You must have the land, the people, and the leaders. If you don't have one of that thing, then no nation can survive. Such as if a nation have the leaders, have the people, doesn't have the land, so you cannot survive. If you have the leaders, you have the nation, you have the leaders, you have the nation, you don't have the leaders. Like in Africa right now, most of the country like Somalia, they have the nation, the people is there, they have the land, but they don't have the leaders. So the life there is so havoc. And also, the third one is, if you have the leaders, you have the land, but problem is you don't have the people. Now, many of the countries is having even I read about a new writings saying that the death of the West, because the numbers of people get birth there is so low. So when the nation doesn't have any people power, so you have to take from outside. So in the end, all the nation will change, not like before. Right now in Japan, they are actually suffering from that reducing numbers of the population because the birth. And LGBT is one of the thing that making people doesn't doing their task to make sure that the nation will continue. Because if a man married a man, how can you get a child? A woman marrying a woman, how can you get a child? So the thing is actually serious right now in the Western country. So that is the thing. Only that, like I said, we actually now being praised by the Westerners for our stand on stopping the movie from being shown in our country, because we don't agree with that. We don't agree with that. I think even the Harry Potter writer also, she also doesn't like that thing, and being no, actually she being ugut,
Or threatened.
to be to be murdered because of her stand. She actually doesn't agree for any element of LGBT being inserted inside the movie. If you see, no, nothing, not a single scene of LGBT being put inside the story of Harry Potter. See, not a single thing. Everything is actually a healthy community. So because of her stubbornness, they actually start to threaten her. Anyway, so for us to know that we actually now, because we honoring the command of Allah, then Allah Ta'ala is honoring us. Make us being honored. Even one of the rappers, I think the one conversation, there's a black artist. He said that the most respectful people in this world is actually the Muslim. They are doing things. They actually following to the dot whatever being told for them by their God. He said, the Christian, we don't follow anything for whatever being told to us by the God. So we Muslim actually the one that following right now, those who actually are concerned about their food, halal or not halal, the Muslim. Others doesn't care. Even one of my neighbor, he's actually a wealthy person. He actually told him to come to my house, because I have slaughtered a few sheep. Have for getting my daughter, if I call akikah. So when I told him that it's okay, you can come because we are cooking sheep, not cow. He said, okay, even cow. Even though the person, when he entered his house, he took 2 cows to walk into all the room inside the house, to bless the house, to get the blessing. But when I said to him, we are slaughtering sheep, not cow, so you can come and eat. So it's okay, anything can. So no honoring anymore of the command of their religion. The only people that actually following is actually the Muslim right now. He said, kaifa yastahifu bima'asillah wa la yastahifuhu bihi al-khalqu. And how can he be little? He's seeing so little about the disobedient towards Allah, and people doesn't care about him to do something like that. Doesn't feel belittle to him. It's actually the thing that Allah Ta'ala make people feel about him. وَقَدْ أَشَارَ سُبْحَانَهُ إِلَى هَذَا فِي كِتَابِهِ عِنْدَ ذِكْرِ عُقُوبَاتِ الذُّنُوبِ. And Allah Ta'ala has shown this in His book when He is mentioning about the punishment of sins. أَنَّهُ أَرْكَسَ أَرْبَابَهَا بِمَا كَسَبُوا. That He will give to those who doing the sin with whatever they did. Whatever they do, then the thing will come to them. The same type of sin that they doing to others. If they do that, Allah Ta'ala will give them the same. Because the reward is also like that. If you help others, Allah Ta'ala help you. You cover the honor, the dishonor of a person, then Allah Ta'ala will cover you. You forgive others, Allah forgive you. It's the same. And then also the sin also will become the same. وَغَطِيَ عَنْ قُلُوبِهِمْ. Allah Ta'ala cover, Allah Ta'ala seal upon their heart. وَطَبَعَ عَلَيْهَا بِذُنُوبِهِمْ. And Allah Ta'ala seal upon it, upon the heart, because of their sin. وَأَنَّهُ نَسِيَهُمْ كَمَا نَسُوهُ. And He actually forget them as they forget Him. وَأَهَانَهُمْ كَمَا أَهَانُوا دِينَهُ. Allah Ta'ala belittle them as they belittle or they blemish his religion. وَضَيَّعَهُمْ كَمَا ضَيَّعُوا أَمْرَهُ. And Allah Ta'ala abandoned them as they abandoned His command. وَلِهَذَا قَالَ تَعَالَى فِي آيَةِ السُّجُودِ. Because of this, Allah Ta'ala said in the ayat al-sujud al-makhluqat, in the ayah number 18, Surah Al-Hajj, in the ayah, our rule, He said in that ayah that وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ, that in that ayah is mentioned all creatures, all living things, all things actually prostrating towards Allah. Not only living things, even not living, like the stars and the mountain and the earth. Everything is prostrating towards Allah. He said, وَمَنْ يُهِنِ اللَّهُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ. Whoever being belittled by Allah, then nobody can make an honor or be lifting up for him. فَإِنَّهُمْ لَمَّا هَانَ عَلَيْهِمُ السُّجُودُ لَهُ. When it become little for them, the prostration towards Allah, وَاسْتَخْفُوا بِهِ, and they feel light about that. وَلَمْ يَفْعَلُهُ, then they didn't do that. أَهَانَهُمْ فَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُمْ مِنْ مُكْرِمٍ بَعْدَ أَنْ أَهَانَهُمْ. He belittled them. He dishonored them. لَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُمْ. So there's no for them whoever that will honor them after Allah Ta'ala dishonor them. وَمَنْ ذَا يُكْرِمُ اللَّهُ وَمَنْ ذَا يُكْرِمُ مَنْ أَهَانَهُ اللَّهُ أَوْ يَهِنُ مَنْ أَكْرَمَ. Then who can actually honor whoever being dishonored by Allah, or to dishonor whoever being honored by Allah. وَمِنْ عُقُوبَاتِهَا, from among the punishment, is punishment, أَنَّهَا تَسْلَبُ أنها تسلب صاحبها أسماء المدح والشرف. That it make the one who doing that, being dishonored by Allah, being taken away the praises name and the noble name from him. No noble name, no praises name for him. وَتَكْسُوهُ أَسْمَعَ الذَّمِّ وَالصِّغَارِ. And also, his doing is making him to wear the name of الذَّمِّ وَالصِّغَارِ, little and also dishonor. فَتَسْلُبُهُ اسم الْمُؤْمِنِ وَالْبِرِّ وَالْمُحْسِنِ وَالْمُتَّقِي وَالْمُطِيعِ. So, it take off from that person the name as a believers, as a good person, a person doing good, the pious person, and obeying servant is being taken away from him. وَنَحْوَهَا. وَتَكْسُوهُ اسم الْفَاجِرِ وَالْعَاصِي وَالْمُخَالِفِ وَالْمُسِيءِ. And also, it will cover him, giving him the name as bad person, disobedient person, always mukhalif, always go against the command of Allah person, al-musi, the person who doing bad, wa amsaluha, and whatever like that. فهذه الأسماء فسوق الفسوق وبئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان. بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان. This is bad names, and the worst name is actually the bad name after you get your iman. You already are believers, and getting the names is actually not appropriate for you. Allati tujibu ghadabud dayyan. That is actually will make you being angry upon you by the Lord, the God that sent down the religion. Wa dukhulin niran, and also make you enter the hellfire. Wa ainshil khizyi wal hawan, and also to live in not happy life, and also dishonor life. Wa tika asma, and all that names tujibu ridha rahman wa dukhul jinan. And by the time that the good name as a believers, a good person doing good, a pious person, is actually the name that will make you get the pleased by to be pleased by the most loving God, and for you to enter the paradise. And also tujibu syaraful mutasammi biha ala sa'il anwal insan, and it also will make the nobility for those who being named by it from among all the humankind. Because like we said in the Surah Al-Hujurat verse number 13, your color, your race, your origin doesn't have anything in the sense of Allah, except the piety. The piety will make you the best person in the sense of Allah. Falau lam yakun fi uqubatil ma'siyati ila istihqaqi tilkal asma' wa mujibatiha lakana fil aqli nahin anha. If only that in the punishment of doing the maksiyah, doing the disobedience towards Allah, if the punishment is only nothing except for you to deserve those bad names, is actually and also whatever come with the name is actually lakana fil aqli nahin anhu. In your mind, it's enough for you to stop from doing that, because you get bad names, and from bad names you get the anger from your Lord, and you would enter the hellfire. It's actually enough for you to stop from doing that. Walau kan lam yakun fi thawabi ta'ati illa al-fawzi. If not the reward for you, the obedience, there is no reward. If not the obedience for the reward for the obedience towards Allah, if not only to get to be victorious bitilkal asma, to get that good names as a believers, as a pious person, and also whatever come with that name, lakana fil aqli amrun biha, then your sound mind will always have command for you with that things to be obedient. Walakin la mana lima ata, but the problem is there's no giver to no one can stop whatever Allah Ta'ala give. Wala mu'tiya lima mana, and nobody can be a giver to whatever Allah Ta'ala stop. When Allah Ta'ala don't want you to give you, you cannot get the opposite result. Wala muqarrib lima ba'ada, and nobody can be making near whoever Allah Ta'ala push away. Wala mub'ida lima qarraba, and nobody can push away whoever Allah Ta'ala want him to get near. Wa man yuhinillah fama lahu min mukrim, whoever be little, be dishonored by Allah, then nobody can be giving an honor towards him. Inna Allah yaf'alu ma yasha, very Allah Ta'ala is doing whatever he actually want. Ibn Qayyim said, wa fi kalimat Ibn Qayyim, in the saying of Ibn Qayyim that we recite just now, wa man dha yukrim min man ahanahu Allah aw yuhin man akramah, who can actually honor or giving honor to whoever being dishonored by Allah, or who can dishonor whoever being honored by Allah. It is actually a sign. This is a sign there, ila ma'na, to an understanding. Yufhamu min hadhihi al-Qā'idah al-Qur'aniyyah, that can be understood from this Quranic rule. Wa man yuhinillahu fama lahu min mukrim, whoever being dishonored by Allah, nobody can be give honor towards him. Wa huwa, the meaning is anna man akramahu rabbuhu bi ta'atihi, whoever being given honor, be given good places by his God, with obeying him, by obeying him, wal inqiyadi li syar'ihi, and to also follow his syariah, his religious law, zahirun batina, from the outside of and the inside, fahuwal azzu wal akramu, then he is the most a great person and most noble person, most honored person. Wa in khalahu al-munafiqun al-kuffar ala khilafi dhalika, even though we'll call upon him, will look upon him, those who hypocrites, and those who non-believers, the opposite of that. They see that the person is not nothing, but in the sense of Allah, he is a somebody. Kama qala man tamasallahu ala basairihim minal munafiqin wa ashbahahum. As Allah Ta'ala said about those who those being put down, their side from among the hypocrites and those who like them. Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Munafiqun, verse number 8, Yakuluna, the hypocrite said, is one of the happening, what happened during the life of the Prophet when he came back from one war. And during the journey, coming back from that war, something happened. Actually, a dispute happened between one of the Muhajirin with one of Ansar. The Muhajirin is those people who came from Mecca with the Prophet. The Ansar is those who actually the original people of Medina that accept the Muhajirin to come to them. So happened that some dispute happened between them, one person and one person. Suddenly the two person start calling Ya al Muhajirin, and the other person called Wa ya Ansar, calling each other people to get into the fight. So the Prophet said, what is this? This Jahiliyah calling. This is calling of Jahiliyah. So one of the persons tried to say that this guy is starting. The Prophet said, Da'uha, left it away. Throw it away. Fa'innaha muntinah, is so smelly, bad smell. The Prophet said, it's not for you to do it. So anyway, at that time, the hypocrites take that situation to make the Ansar, those who accept the Muhajirin, to feel uneasy in their heart. So they said, Yakuluna, they said, La'in raja'na ilal madinati, if we return to the Medina after this war, after this journey, La yukhrijanna al-'azzu min al-adhal, then we will throw away those who actually noble from among the people outside as lower caste people. He's saying that something like that. Say that if you return to Medina, they will be thrown away. Allah Ta'ala said, Walillahi al-izzatu, the nobility, the greatness is actually with Allah. Walil rasulihi, and with the Prophet, with his messenger. Walil mu'minan, and for the believers. Walakin al-munafiqina la ya'lamun, but the hypocrites doesn't understood. They don't understand. Ay wallah la ya'lamuna man hum ahlul izzati haqqa. They don't understand. So by that, you obeying your Lord, your God, you don't ever have to make sure that everybody will be pleased with you, because some of the people will be from among the hypocrites, that they will always doesn't like you doing good things. You are doing charity, they will still talking about that. Yeah, you are doing da'wah, they will still doing something like that, saying something bad about that. So you don't ever care about their saying. Wa kaifa yash'uru alam yakulillah. Don't Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Al-Imran, verse number 139. Al-Imran, verse number 139. Wala tahinu wala tahzanu. Don't you all feel little, and don't you all worry. Wala tahzanu. Wa antumul a'launa, and you all actually are the most highest. In kuntum mu'minin, if you are all from among the believers. Don't ever you feel low. Don't ever you feel sad or feel worry, because Allah Ta'ala is making you the highest people if you are the believers. Wa kaifa yash'urul mu'minu bil hawan wa sanaduhu a'la wa manhajuhu a'la. How can a believers feel little, or feel lower, insult? Because sanaduhu a'la, he's depending to the most highest. Wa manhajuhul a'la, his discipline also, his way also the highest. Wa dawruhul a'la, and also his position, his task also the highest. Wa qudwatuhu a'la wa asma. Wa qudwatuhu sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his guidance, the one who become his their guide, who is the Prophet, peace be upon him, is the highest and the most high in all the humankind. فهل يعي ويدرك أهل الإيمان أنه عز حقا. Don't the Ahlul Iman, the people of Iman, understand and realize that they actually the most noble, really, in the sight of Allah. Mata ma qamu biha bima aujaballahu alaihim. As long as they are doing whatever Allah Ta'ala commanding them to do. Wa akhtumu kalami, and I ending my saying, the author said, an hadhihi al-qa'idati al-Qur'aniyyati al-muhkamati, about this fixed Quranic rule, bi kalimatin ra'i'atin li Shaykh Islam Taimiyata rahimahullah, with a great saying by the Shaykh of Islam Ibn Taymiyah, haythu qala, when he said, al-karamatu fi luzumil istiqamati, the nobility, the word is karama, also as understood is actually when a saint, a saint lower than the prophet, good people when called a saint, that can do miracles. The miracle being done by the saint will be called as karamah. The miracle being done by the prophet and the messengers being called mu'jizah. There's differences. Because the sign for the messengers and the prophet, for people to believe them, they are from Allah. But the saint is normally for help, will be given to them by Allah. So, some people in our Muslim country right now, they actually try to achieve the rank of become a saint. Even though Allah Ta'ala is actually not giving that rank for you to just play around. When you get to be saint, everything you say will happen. But at the same time, many people are claiming that, but they are not changing the situation of the Muslim people. They are not giving any benefit to us. They are staying with their group inside the cave, inside near the tomb of another saint. So they are staying there and chanting and doing nasheed, qasidah, poem, singing and day and night. They is not giving any benefit to the Muslim society. Anyway, the word karamah also means that. Also it means nobility. So he said here, al-karamatu, the miracle or the nobility, fi luzumil istiqamati, is actually in always doing, it's actually in always be with the straightness. Istiqamah, always doing the thing continuously. Okay. Wallahu ta'ala lam yukrim abdahu bi karamatin a'zama min mawafaqatihi fima yuhibbuhu wa yardah. And Allah Ta'ala is not honoring His servant with a nobility or with a miracle bigger than to make him to be always synchronized with whatever Allah Ta'ala love and Allah Ta'ala please. Allah Ta'ala making you to be always with Allah Ta'ala, whatever Allah Ta'ala love, then that is the biggest miracle. That is the biggest miracle you can get. Wa huwa ta'atuhu wa ta'atu rasulihi. It is actually for you to obey him, to obey his messenger. Wa muwalatil awliyahi, and also to give your setia apa? Setia. To give your loyalty, to those who being loved by Allah. Wa mu'adati a'dahu, and also to make yourself not to be with whoever become enemy of Allah. Who will be loved by Allah, you give them your loyalty. Whoever making Allah Ta'ala their enemy, then you don't give them any loyalty towards them. Wa ha'ulahi hum awliya'ullah alladhi qala Allah Ta'ala fihim. And those people who can always be with the straightness, always obey Allah, always obey Rasul, continuously without fail. Those are the people being called as the saint of Allah. Alladhina qala Allah fihim. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, the Surah Yunus, verse number 62. Allah Ta'ala said, Allah, know, oh people, know this. Inna awliya Allah, that the saint of Allah, those people that Allah Ta'ala love them, la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun, that they are actually nothing will be worried about them. They will not worry anything, and they will not be sad. Will not be sad. Who are they? In the ayah after that, 63, alladhina amanu, those who actually those who are believers, wa kanu yattaqun, and they also have piety. They pious towards Allah. Be a believer that pious, then Allah Ta'ala will call you as his saint. Not to have water running in your hand, to walk on the water, to fly, no. But to always be with the command of Allah, to be fear towards Allah. That is the miracle that you can have. He said here, As'alullaha ayaj'ani wa iyyakum minhum. May Allah Ta'ala, I'm asking Allah. The author said, I'm asking Allah. So for him to make us, to make me and all of you from among them, among people that Allah Ta'ala call as his awliya, his saint. Wa yukrimana wa iyyakum bi ta'atihi. And may Allah honor us and all of you bi ta'atihi, by obeying him. Wala yudhillana wa yuhinana bi ma'siyatihi. And may he not belittle, make us low and belittle us bi ma'siyatihi, by doing disobedience toward him. Alhamdulillah. We finish our topic today. On that question, there's something there? Wait. No, it's okay. I will read by myself. Okay. On this question here, Salam Sheikh. Can a man who can't afford to get married fast on any other day except haram day? Will it be makruh if he fast on weekends? Okay, firstly, the Prophet ﷺ did say, the Prophet ﷺ said, Ya ma'syara shabab, or youngsters, man istata' minkumul ba'ata, whoever have the capability among you to get married, falyatazawwaj, then get married. Fa'innahu, because getting married is actually aghaddul basari wa ahsanul farji. It will lower your gaze, lowering towards your gaze. So because you have place for you to channel your desire, sexual desire, and will more protecting on your private part. Waman lam yajid, whoever doesn't get anything for him or for her to marry, fa'alayhi bisawm. Then the Prophet said, may he fast. Fa'innahu lahu wija', because fasting will become as a shield for that person. So about the fasting for youngsters, for those who cannot get married yet, okay, we have to know about what is the maximum point of fasting in Islam. The Prophet ﷺ is actually did give us the maximum point is for us to fasting for a day and to break our fast the another day. You know, you alternate fasting, not fasting, not fasting. And the Prophet said that is the best fasting in the sight of Allah, because it's the fasting of Dawood. David, father of Solomon, the Prophet, he actually been fasting like that. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he heard one of his companion was fasting every day, he went to his house because he doesn't agree with that person action. What he doing is actually wrong. So the Prophet came to him and offering him to starting with the 3 days in a month. The Prophet said, 3 days a month is enough for you. Don't fast continuously. 3 days is enough, because one goodness will be rewarded 10. So 3 days is the same as 30 days. So the person said, I am capable more than that. So the Prophet said to him, fasting, you fast for a day, you break your fast for 2 days and fast again. So the person said, I am capable more than that. The person is named Abdullah ibn Amr ibn As, son of Amr bin As. He's being known as one of the hardest actually worshipping person among the companion. So he said, I'm more capable than that. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, then fast a day, don't fast for another day, then fast after that. So alternate. He said, I capable for more than that. The Prophet said, La khayra ala dhalik. There's no better than that. So a person in a month, for his health, he is actually being told by the Prophet to fasting only 15 days a month. Not to fast every month. Only Ramadan you fast 30 days. But other than that, the Prophet is giving for us the limitation for fasting a day, I'm breaking the fast for another day. Not fasting continuously. Even though you are fasting because you don't have money to get married, you have the desire, you want to stop your lust or your sexual desire, to lowering it is by fasting. But the fasting you must follow the way of the Prophet, not fasting every day. Okay. How do we stop feeling envious toward others? Actually, you can stop your feeling of envy towards others is by knowing that Allah is the one who giving it to them. It's not you. Now Ta'ala give that person more than you. That is the gift from Allah. And Allah is telling us He is all-knowing, all-loving, all-just. He loves you more than your mother loves you. Understand that. He loving you more than your mother loves you. So if He not giving you, but giving the other person, it doesn't ever mean that He doesn't love you. So you don't feel that the thing being given to that person is really lifting you out. Because Allah can give you more than that person. Sometimes it's a trial for you to not have bad opinion about Allah. You shouldn't have any bad opinion towards Allah. Don't say that Allah is not loving me. No, ever. But this is trial that Allah give you. So if you want to don't to envy to others, then first thing first, you must know that gift is from Allah for him, and you have your own gift. Sometimes you don't know that the person is getting more than you, but he's suffering from the other side that you don't have. Because some people being given by Allah wealth, can buy anything, anytime, anywhere. But at the same time, Allah doesn't give them the enjoyment of eating. To eat food, they don't have the enjoyment. Just half cup of rice, few sprinkle of salt. Because if you get a salt, then the blood pressure will raise. No sweet. So the enjoyment in this life is actually taken away. But at the same time, a person that doesn't have money, Allah give them the appetite to eat 3 plates of rice. And he is actually feeling full. And want to sleep after that, so easy. Just put his head and he will go into the dreamland. But the person have money, cannot sleep. Because thinking about his business, about the payment for his workers, about this and that. So the stress is actually upon them. So if you really want to be grateful, think about what you have. Don't ever think about what others have. Allah Ta'ala is giving you more than others actually. If you really think about that. Everybody is actually have the enjoyment in his life. And also you must look to whoever lower than you. Don't ever look in worldly achievement. Look to whoever lower than you. Don't ever look whoever more than you. Because if you look for more than you, then you start to feel that you didn't get anything. But if you look to those people actually lower than you, then you will be pleased with Allah. You don't envy others, insyaAllah. He said here also, how do we know if we have been dishonored or tested? Actually, when you actually starting to go into disobedience towards Allah, that means that Allah Ta'ala testing you and you are starting to get dishonored by Allah. If you are can continue and doesn't repent to Him, then making that you actually making yourself further more than from Him. So that is actually how you know, like we said inside our notes today. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khair. I've been answered also. Okay, we stop here insyaAllah. May Allah Ta'ala make us benefiting whatever we learn. May Allah Ta'ala teach us whatever we benefiting us. Wallahu a'lam. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi sallam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.